What's up, guys? Before I start the next nutrition concept in February, I thought I'd take 2 weeks and a couple days to introduce you to two special subjects that might be interesting or even important to you. The first is how I personally would cook if I had to live on a budget and would want to spend as little money as possible while still eat as healthy as possible. And the second one I will tell you about next week. It'll be fun. So far I've come up with 6 ways one might cook or prepare his food or eat in general. And before I get into how to save money on food, I will introduce you to those 6 and hopefully start a conversation in the comments about these areas. The first one is eating unconsciously. You don't think about what you eat, you actually eat more to beat your boredom than to stop being hungry. You don't care what it is you put into your mouth as long as it makes you, I wouldn't say happy, but less bored. And in general, you're influenced by media and your upbringing, and you don't really think about food, you just eat. The second one is, and if you watch my videos you are quite familiar with this one, you eat to stay as healthy as possible and as productive or at a high level of performance as possible. If you eat like this, you watch more about the nutritious side of your food than how it tastes or how much you're spending. You take food as an investment in your health and your productivity, and less as an enjoyment or a fun thing to do. Although you still might enjoy eating, cooking, and especially cooking with friends. So obviously food plays an important and essential role in your life, but you take it from a productive point of view and not from an entertainment point of view. The third one is the one I will talk about the next couple of days: eating as cheap as possible. This might be especially interesting to you if you are a student or just started working and don't earn as much money, or if you just don't want to spend that much money on food, or more than necessary, let's put it like that. Maybe because you have a family going and want to invest more of your money in your kids, or you want to invest in general to increase your assets and spend more on enjoyment and better food later on. The fourth one is you want to cook to impress and eat as deliciously as possible. In this case, you don't care as much how much the food costs or how healthy it is, as long as it tastes really good. You would learn and think about herbs and spices and how you would season the different kinds of foods you would use, what combinations might work best. You would try different things to improve certain recipes, and maybe even create your own recipes and styles of cooking. You would try different methods to prepare different meals and just continuously learn and improve to eat better and better. The fifth one is you eat as environmentally advantageous as possible. So you care more about the environment than what is the cheapest, the most delicious, or maybe even the healthiest food. In this case, you would buy locally and organically, which might actually be pretty healthy. And you are willing to invest a little more money to save the planet, so to speak. Obviously, you could still eat deliciously and maybe even better, because a lot of the foods won't be disfigured or negatively affected by all the chemicals, the corporational foods, let's call them like that, are infected by. And the last one is you eat in a way to achieve a specific goal. Maybe you want to lose fat, maybe you want to gain more muscle mass, maybe you are MMA fighter or boxer or whatever and want to lose weight before you step on the scale. Whatever the case may be, you have a specific goal, and nutritious food of a certain way helps you to get there. Alright, those are the 6 ways I could think of right now. Let me know in the comments which one describes you best and what you found interesting or what you didn't know or think about the other ones, and maybe what fascinates you or motivates you to eat this certain way, and maybe try new things and widen your horizon. Alright, I will talk about the groceries I bought for this week of eating on a budget. And yeah, just enjoy, and I'll see you later. What's up, guys? This week I thought I would show you how I would buy groceries if I was on a budget and wanted to spend as little money on food as possible while still eating as healthy as possible. As you can see, there are still a lot of veggies and also some fruit in my diet. However, I would be especially careful to buy food that is in season. For example, today I checked out zucchini and eggplants, and zucchini, 1 kilogram of zucchini would have cost me €6, and 1 kilogram of eggplants €5. Time of the year I could get those for half or even 1/3 of the price. So if I wanted to really eat as healthy and cheap as possible, I would pay attention to details like this. Kohlrabi, kale, onions and carrots are cheap almost all the time of the year. Therefore, these are veggies I would go for more often than I do anyway. Today, red pepper was a special offer. I think €2.20 per kilogram or something like that. Tomatoes were as cheap as the pepper, I think, and the mushrooms were quite cheap as well. The same applies for fruit as well. Bananas are basically cheap all the time of the year, so that's what I go for pretty often. Regarding other things, you need to check how cheap they are during the course of a year. For example, apples you would eat in fall, cherries in summer, and so on. I noted that there's a lot of carbs in my diet, but I wanted basically to show you what the 3 main sources for dinner are for me. On the one hand, potatoes and rice. Those are the most important two. occasionally I would also go for spaghetti. I would eat oatmeal for breakfast a couple times of the week. And lentils. Lentils are absolutely awesome in this regard because they are cheap and still full of carbs and a lot of protein. 23 grams of protein in 100 grams. If you look at the fish, which I will talk about in a minute, it contains 24.8 grams of protein. So there's not much of a difference, although the quality of the protein varies between lentils and fish, obviously. Next up, plain yogurt. I've been made fun of for years during school and partly in university because I would have one can of these. It's 500 grams. Basically every lunch break since 9th or 10th grade, I'm not sure anymore, with some fruit and oatmeal, and I can definitely recommend it, especially if you have to eat during your working hours. It's just absolutely awesome. You can take it with you, you can prepare it wherever you are, and it's cheaper than eating anywhere else. Next up, eggs. That's my other breakfast choice. They're cheap, full of protein. The egg yolk is full of, or not full of, but it contains some fat. So a couple eggs will get you through the day until you have lunch or even dinner. Next up, canned and sieved tomatoes. I will eat those with the spaghetti. And lastly, the fish, sardines. Low in mercury, high in protein, high in fat. That's what I want, and cheap, obviously. All of this, what I've just showed you, cost me 23 euros and 86 cents. That means every other week you could enjoy a steak and still wouldn't go overboard on your budget. Obviously, I have olive oil, seasoning and stuff like that already here, so you need to account for that as well in case you don't. But those things will last you a little longer. This is stuff I eat in a regular week. So there you go. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the kitchen. Have a nice day.